Muy buenas chavales, bienvenidos y bienvenidas a otro vídeo para el canal. ¿Qué tal estáis, chicos? ¿Qué tal esa semanita? Espero que estéis teniendo una semana de putísima madre, que no sé hablar. Empiezo con la lengua ahí un poquito rebeldilla. Y nada, ya se acerca el fin de semanuki, ahí bien ricolino para disfrutar. Encima se viene un fin de semana tope de pepino. Hoy en el canal de Humero, ¿vale? Que ya tiene canal de Twitch, se lo han devuelto. Y canal de YouTube, bueno, será en canal de YouTube y canal de Kick. Esta noche haremos vídeo reacción al mejor jugador del mundo, Cienfuegos On. Así que, bueno, si tenéis tiempo libre y queréis echaros unas risas, que os digo que van a estar muy suculentas esas partidas, van a haber muchas risas, pues estaremos por ahí. Ya os digo, canal YouTube y canal de Kick de Humero. Y mañana o sea, otro videito. Hoy va a haber DBD League. Mañana voy a hacer un vídeo de un equipo de suscriptores míos contra otro suscriptor, ¿vale? Y el sábado, vídeo del mundial, ¿vale? De JINX. Y el domingo voy a hacer un directo yo, ¿vale? Reaccionando a este vídeo, ¿vale? O sea, lo voy a poner por aquí. Que por aquí. Uy, mierda, soy subnormal. Claro, no hay miniatura porque soy un puto subnormal. Bueno, básicamente el domingo voy a hacer un directo jugando, ¿vale? Voy a hacer un directo largo por mi cumpleaños, ¿vale? En celebración de mi cumpleaños. Y voy a empezar el directo analizando este vídeo, ¿vale? Como veis, me he visto muy poco, muy poco, apenas nada, poquísimo. Pero vamos, no he escuchado, era para ver si decía cosas interesantes y esos temas. Y entonces voy a hacer un reaccionando a este vídeo de Mega Man, guía de Min Killer 2025, ¿vale? Que lo sepáis. Y eso será el domingo, en directo, ¿vale? Y de aparte, jugaré partidas. Os digo, el directo va a ser de 6 horitas, más o menos. Este vídeo dura 2, mi reaccionando va a durar más, seguramente que 2 horas, serán pues quizá 3. Así que eso, será el domingo en mi canal de YouTube y de Twitch. Voy a hacer directo en los dos sitios a la vez. Volvemos a Twitch, ¿vale, chavales? Y nada, en el vídeo de hoy he dicho, oye, DBDLEAGUE tenía página de YouTube. Y sí, tiene página de YouTube. Yo, tonto de mí, creo que ni le sigo. Me voy a suscribir. Ahí, perfecto. Y bueno, en fin, soy mecánicas para tal. Y bueno, que están todas las partidas aquí, ¿vale? Yo estaba haciéndolo mediante directos de Twitch de destacados, soy retrasado mental. Aquí están subidas todas las partidas. Nos quedamos en la semana 5, que es el partido de hoy, Ariandel contra JINX, que ya lo tengo aquí. Puesto 3 Ariandel contra puesto quinto JINX, que están empatados con Cynic. Y nada, se viene partidazo, así que a partir de ahora, eso, voy a ir por aquí para arriba, no voy a ir muy arriba porque pues hay títulos y se sabe quién pasa a los cuartos, a la semifinal y a la final, para no hacer spoiler, pero bueno, que si vamos para arriba, en plan así una miradita rápida, ¿veis? Pues por ahí acaban los vídeos, ¿vale? Así que nada, iré, voy a sacar los mejores partidos, ¿vale? Que sean así partidos de rangos altos, de yo sé, tercer, cuarto, quinto puesto, por sacaré los que son de tabla baja, no los voy a sacar porque se nos irían muchísimos vídeos y tardaría mucho en subirlo todo. Así que esto no sé por qué le he dado sin querer. Así que nada, tercer puesto Ariandel contra quinto puesto JINX. Se viene partidazo. Aparte de aquí lo tengo mucho más fácil, ¿sabéis? No tengo ni que buscar el minuto ni nada, simplemente le doy y ya está. Lo malo que se sabe el spoiler, se sabe los partidos que hay. Por ejemplo, aquí tenemos Freddy, se va a jugar un Freddy, se va a jugar enfermera y finalmente se juega un espíritu. Es lo malo que sabemos el spoiler de la partida. Así que nada, vamos para allá. Vale, vamos con Freddy. Está muy bien esto de eso, lo tienen muy currado, la verdad. Set 1 más 1 es el pick de Ariandel, o sea, la Ariandel del pick, Freddy, muy bien. Y en este mapa normal que Freddy destruya bien, o sea, a menos que hagan muchos cuelgues, a no ser que hagan muchos bodies o jueguen mal el Freddy, jueguen muy bien el equipo de supervivientes. Vamos, aquí Freddy tiene ventaja, ¿vale? Que lo sepáis. Carnicero 8.0, ruina, erupción y intervención corrupta. Muy buena build, perfecta, cojonuda. Ya sabéis que ahora Freddy, te tienes que despertar para curarte, tanto curar al compañero como curarse a uno mismo, porque si no Freddy tiene un TP a tu chepa, literalmente os carnicero ahí le va a venir muy bien para que tarden más. O si no, que jueguen heridos, que es muy peligroso jugar heridos contra actual Freddy, muy peligroso. Erupción, por si le quitan ruina, y intervención corrupta. Muy buena build. Y aquí vemos las presas supervivientes. Ostras, lo tienen muy currado, Mumba con estas, DMR con estas, muy bien. Bueno, los supervivientes son unas bestias. Aquí tenemos un éxito aplastante, un temple del hombre de frente y ya está, para adelante.
Because when you look at Babbo, Swatter, Hardwell, Excise, these crazy names, then it's also definitely proven from the past that once these players have a momentum together and when they understand they have the upper hand here, they are very rarely giving it away. So JINX better doing their homework here on the Nightmare, Moon, DMR, K and Dark, our standard JINX roster basically. And one thing we can tell so far, this is the dream corrupt for Dead Dog Saloon. Babbo is...
Si os fijáis, paleta la primera, no se puede golpear contra Freddy, te mete un entorpecimiento y te mete hostia después, así que paleta la primera.
Very happy about that.
Yeah,
vale, ya está dormido Dark.
We found our first chase onto Dark. We do have that ruin, of course. That has been a pretty common pick for... Oh, actually, it's opting to leave. Spreading the pressure, actually, with ruin.
Y Bubo de killer, así que Bubo es un freestyle, cabrón.
Been a pretty popular pick for Freddy because of just
Tiene partidas malas, Bubo, tiene partidas malas como todos, pero normalmente suele dar bastante la talla.
ability to move around the map. And
Por eso su equipo va tercero, casi nada.
when you have these situations where like survivors are sucked across the map and he's fighting to keep those generators alive, the ruin is going to give him so much value. So I do think it's quite
Ahí está
it's a bit of a
ralentizado.
risky perk,
Ya es hostia,
being,
¿vale?
a hex,
No llega.
being a hex perk, and it can be cleansed, but it does really pay off the longer that it stays in the trial, and especially when you go into that late.
Hostia, mucho rango, ¿no? Hostia, que estaba aquí el superviviente, tío, y mira el palet. Hostia, pues mira, yo esto no lo sabía, ¿eh? O sea, no hace falta que el superviviente esté cerquilla, en plan a medio metro, no, mirad. Esto es 1,5 metros muy tranquilamente, es 1,5 metros, hostia.
Where they're fighting and actually getting a
Hostia, o sea, brutal el Bubo.
really nice pallets, like a pallet ignition onto K there. They took a tag and that chase was over before I even finished my point.
Yeah, that's how quick we're gonna play this today. Here's Ak, we need to cast in double speed today.
Es muy importante, chicos, estar contra Freddy despierto. Muy importante, ¿vale? O sea, cuanto más estés despierto, mejor, porque él no tiene poder, por así decirlo. Cuando estéis dormidos, estéis jodidos.
Okay, so we basically get all the infos together because Babbo is going to have the first basement hook already and the gens are already under pressure, so we need to make sure that we are getting all the stats and all the info in. One of the important
Como veis, DMR está protegido, no puede ser dormido, así que ahora está contra un trampero, por así decirlo.
stats from the background is 123 for the first down here, so not the worst first chase. Also corrupt is now gone, so you could even flag that as a
Tía, vaya pocos tú. Ahí mal salto de DMR.
tactical play, but DMR now going to take the injury here with the sloppy as well. That's going to trigger some interesting decisions later on. Survivor team needs to decide, do we want to stay injured, especially paired with the ruin?
Bien, se va para abajo para darle metros a su compañero y ahora sube él.
Do not lose some generator progress, or do we pull back? Do we keep it calm and collected, but then sacrificing a few percentages on the generators? The
Mala caída equilibrada.
question will also be, how often will we see surprising teleports? And the answer is, so far we see
Muy bien, todos seguidos. Al uno de puta madre.
quite a few of them. Babbo switched back towards the Hooked Survivor, now onto the main building, getting everyone injured. And as a more of a weaker mid-tier killer, who the Freddy is here, that's definitely a good achievement in exchange for just one generator so far. Sloppy Ruin soon going to come in, doing a little bit of extra work for Babbo here. So far it's looking strong from Ariandel's killer.
I think so. It's such a masterful use of Freddy as well. He's teleporting at the right times. I mean, he even got the pallet timing on that
Cómo está haciendo que su ruina sea muy buena, eh.
first chase too. So, Babbo, you know, showcasing those strengths that we talked about. You know, getting that 4K2 onto Cynic, and this is exactly like the recipe for
Es que te comes una habitación y no llegas. Es que no llegas.
success that he had last time. Opting to slug now, and he's just not giving up any
O sea, se ha ido a tomar por culo.
pressure on the gens as a sort of general rule. That sloppy still is applied when they're on the floor, I believe. So they're gonna have.
Hasta luego, claro. Hace la máxima por la derecha porque no le da tiempo a la vuelta, ¿vale? No le da tiempo ni de coña, está ralentizado, pero claro, eso muy bien Bubo esperado.
Kate taking a grab on the pallet. I think that was a bit awkward, really. But yeah, I just had to stop talking for a second while that happened. No, yeah, of course, that sloppy butch across all 4 survivors, and even when they're slugged, they still have the slowdown and things. So it's
Le ha dado, sí,
applying those
le ha
injuries
dado.
and then teleporting with the ruin, and it's such a it's such a hard thing to play against, to be honest. Like, it's really, it delays you so hard in these games. Like, the survivors can't
le ha
get you
pillado.
down because
Buah,
Bubba is just
nada,
all
F.
over you, like, from the start. And that's what he's been doing. He's just been back and forth, getting it down. Second stage onto K now, who's facing death at 4 gens. This is pretty much like exactly what we saw last time. It's just really strong early game from spreading that pressure, and Bubba, you know, showing he's consistent.
Como nos tiene mareados, solo está arribando
Got
DMR.
it.
El único.
Yeah, this is important, right? What you said, that Babo is constantly at them, basically. The map pressure that we have created at the moment is incredible. We see it right here. We are not only guarding the survivor that is currently at the hook, we also make sure that we're staying in our nice, cozy generator setup that we have back here. So
No van a venir, es un suicidio.
even if you lose one of the gens now on the opposite side in the houses section, you do not worry too much. Even the main building gen is not too much of a loss here because you have your 3 gen setup here. It was corrupted at the beginning.
Buah, qué buen TP, brutal. TP al mejor sitio posible.
Babo realized that and then he took the
ya lo ha
advantage.
fallado.
It doesn't always, or it is definitely not enough
Este palete es una mierda contra Freddy, no sirve para nada, ¿vale?
to just have a good 3 gen, and even having a little bit of luck with the corrupt.
That's
Yeah, that comes
Ya no llegas.
in handy, but you need to understand it from the beginning and you need to be able to take advantage for it. You need to push the
Muy bien, Freddy, muy bien.
survivors into that corner as Bubba did, and then when you get the down there, they cannot rescue there. They can only get a few not so important generators out of the way, and now it's even going to snowball here a little bit. DMR on the ground, Dark already in the next chase, and during all this time it is either moon greeting one of these generators to stop the ruin, but most likely is going to cycle to get DMR up.
¿Veis? Así se hace que la ruina sea fuerte. Con presión en los motores. O sea, lo está haciendo súper bien el Bubo.
That means Ruin now doing the job. All the survivors in danger. You can even decide as the killer, do I want to slug this further? Do I go for the hook stage potentially? We see the damage being done right here, 15% on the Gallows generator. Babo right now absolutely cruising through the trial here. And if JINX doesn't find potentially even a full reset and a longer mid-game chase, we will definitely only talk about the number of generators here.
Yeah, I think it from that point of
Este palete es falso.
view, if you want to get those resets in, you need the ruin gone, right? Because you're sacrificing the progression that you're making on those gens in exchange for that reset. So
Adiós.
maybe, I don't know if it's too late into the trial so far.
Este palete es una mierda, este palete no sirve para nada.
I guess, I mean, we've got Survivor Deborah at 3 gens. Right now, do you maybe take the game a little bit slower and try and look for that totem so that you can actually get rewarded for those resets? Honestly, I'm not too sure like what the best thing for
Está
JINX to do
curado,
here is,
muy
but
bien.
yeah, you have a survivor slug, then this is about to be a second survivor
yes.
going down. Don't think you make that pallet, no. And we're faced with a 4K
No puede curarla. ¿Por qué? Porque tepea, se tepea. No, no puede.
3 right now. Look at that slow down on that heal. And Moon right now, the game's basically resting in his hands.
Buah.
TP gonna come through, and he's been found. Pickup comes through, but that's gonna be
Hasta luego.
4K3 secured.
2 motores, chaval. Pero nada, ha jugado que te cagas el Bubo. Que te cagas ha jugado. Brutal. O sea, los ha pasado por encima.
Wow. And that happened.
Brutal, la presión ha herido a todos, no sé qué, las chases muy cortitas, ruina que flipa, les ha reventado vivos, se tenían que despertar, la ruina te baja los motores, curarte con carnicero, lo ha jugado, ha aprovechado su poder al máximo, nada, una maravilla Hugo, menuda paliza, chaval, era... ¿Qué pasa aquí?
Nah, I was just looking at
DMR, esa soltada.
the individual chases. Oh,
We have the rare case.
No pueden, ¿vale? Que no pueden, pero bueno. Se queda parado y otra vez al suelo. Bueno, a hacer el morir. Brutal, nada, brutal. Ha jugado Bubo, nada, perfecto, excelente. Los suplentes podrían haber hecho más, pero la primera sesión ha sido muy corta porque ha utilizado el palet que tenía para explotarlo y reventar al superviviente. A partir de ahí, con un poquito de slug y tal, los ha tenido como ha querido.
and build being
Vale, Dark de Killer. Ahora vemos aquí
chain resonance.
una agilidad. En anterior partida no había agilidad, me parece, ¿no? Que de equilibrada, el de frente y el de pegar el palet y tener un split.
In place
O sea,
on
pegar un stun con el palet.
the ruin. So relatively similar builds, but we
Se me ha ido el nombre de esta práctica, eso no me lo...
have the
Vale, y de este será donde tener más entorpecimiento, este azul de abajo, esta que te cagas, la verdad, que entorpecer más a los supervivientes rivales. Y vale, se ha quitado el ruina y se ha puesto gancho flagrante de retumbante, también es muy buena, la verdad. Pero ruina, como la ha usado Bubo, es de las mejores perder del juego, per tier, es literal.
Progression event instead of that sort of constant ticking progression that Ruin gives. And we were setting up main building, setting up Shack, trying to set ourselves up for that first chase. And we do see some progression on this gen here, so sniffing a survivor out.
Queda equilibrada, obviamente.
And that's going to be the balanced landing.
No le ha
Swat
dado, lo ha
does make it to main
fallado.
building. And we're going to continue chase. This is going to be relatively close. He does make that window, so now
Ahora
we continue
sí,
chase around.
ahora sí.
And main building is coming through as the first chase. I have to say it's probably not the best.
Muy buena
place
ralentización
for that,
ahí.
but you do have that hindrance coming in. You've got Swatter in the Dream Water. That's going to apply, I think, 4 or 4.5 seconds of hindrance.
Llega.
Definitely helping chase.
No
It
llega.
looks like we might have an injury coming in
Como sé que no llega, full recto, hacia el sac, para hacerse fuerte.
soon. Early injury. That's good news for Dark. You can see, look, there's
No le ha dado.
3 gens being worked on the Survivor. So this chase
Así como no le ha dado, una vueltita.
is pretty much everything in terms of securing a strong early game result. Oh, he doubles back actually, and Swatter just very smartly just holds that. But again, we've got main building into Shack. Two extremely
¿Veis? Gran parte de lo que ha cambiado. Por la primera chase, que no ha sido buena.
strong tiles. Dark understanding that he has to leave that, and we found 2 other survivors working on that middle generator. Looks like it was 2 gens that were working, so we're already facing sort of tie condition.
Muy buena. Recordar que con el entorpecimiento no se puede hacer fast bolt, solo medium bolt.
Very interesting animation on that vault. I think it's one of those things where you get the hindrance come through mid vault, and it just looks very, very strange. But 2 injuries on the board so far, no gen to speak of yet, but there is one close. And I don't know, Dyer, I feel like we needed a down sooner, really, if we were hoping to kind of get any chance of winning this. Base now onto main
Y
building.
hasta aquí.
1 gen does pop, second one is literally around the corner. As I'm just filling in for Dyer, seems like he's having some mountain net problems. That's I picked
Muy
him
bien.
down, and that was quite a long time for a down. We had a two nearly
Una pena que haya perdido al de frente, porque al fin y al cabo no tienes pérdida de agotamiento.
3 chases in that time. 2 minutes and 16, so that's 45 seconds roughly longer than our first game.
2 motores, un motor más y ya han ganado.
But what have already hit the tie condition for Ariandel, and this is the first hook stage. So, early game. Still a relatively
Veis, os fijáis, están ambos despiertos para curarse, porque si no, os digo, os hace TP a vosotros.
decent first downtime, you know, as far as Freddy goes. So you can be happy about that. But now you just sort of need to shake that off and forget that. Forget how many gens are being down, just play out a good game. Now the magic being found in this corner. Whilst Ipic sits on the hook. Dark now realizing that if he wants to win this set, I guess he can't let any gens go, so we're not opting to commit that. Unhook comes through. And this
No llegas, no llegas.
star nicely, but does
Aquí-
eat the stun
Lo está jugando bastante mal Dark, el micro.
to the face. Yeah, I don't know, Dyer. It's looking bad for Dark, I think.
Porque ha vuelto el Magic, no tiene ningún sentido.
Yeah, this is a little bit what we didn't want to see, right? When we mentioned Ariane
Por cierto, creo que los 4 son rusos, ¿vale? No estoy seguro, pero creo que vamos, es un equipo ruso, Ariandel.
doesn't need to take a 3
Bubo sé que es ruso.
into account, they can be a lot more confident. And the worst thing that can happen is them leaving very early, not handing out mistakes or free
Está jugando muy mal Freddy de micro.
injuries. And this is exactly what we see here. Ariandel, especially with this win condition in mind, they can leave the gens a little bit earlier because they know we don't need that many gens
Muy bien ahí esquivando.
this trial. We don't have to
Ostras, este reloj le viene muy bien a los supervivientes. Este reloj aquí.
grind every single second and percentage into the gens. It's better to be safe than
qué
sorry
buena.
here, even now with the body block coming in. beautiful to see that one of them will make it to main, the other one can at least circle around this pallet for a little bit longer. Just this mind game alone takes around about 10 seconds here. Nice fake there by the Magic, not dropping the pallet, and we just go around and around.
Dios, cómo ha llegado, ¿no? Hola. Ha pegado el golpe desde aquí, tío.
Seconds now. That was a generous hit, but in exchange for that third generator in the distance, Ariandel
Pues ya está, Ariandel ha ganado la primera ronda.
taking the win in set number 1, and this will not be a win most likely, where we just talk about this one generator being enough due to the win condition. We will very likely see Ariandel going more and more onto the gens here, proving their efficiency, trying to grind towards the end game, and I would even believe that we see some stages coming out of the door if they continue like this.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of focused on narrative on Jinx a little bit, but this is Ariandel saying we're at the top of the table right now. We want to stay there. Like, this is a incredibly consistent and strong performance coming out from them, not giving Jinx any sort of breathing room. We had Bubba all over the last game, and now the Survivor team is just absolutely bringing it home on their Survivor side. But, you know, the momentum coming from this set alone is going to be... That was a very interesting hit on the last pixel there onto Swatter. I'm not going to be too happy about that one.
Está fallando muchas,
but,
muchas.
Ariandel just...
No, salta, loquete. ¿Dónde vas?
Impressing me with what I'm seeing.
Salta, loquete. A ver, sé que le van a venir a proteger, pero todavía le quedaba. Había que saltar.
Yeah. Of course, I feel for Jinx because they do need this win, and you know they are in the middle of the table. They're sandwiched between basically everyone, and this is going to be pushing them into either the good side, like the better side of the table, or the worse side of the table. So
Gancho flagrante para
for them,
Magic.
Ariandel absolutely want to be up there in terms of, you know, getting that. Those
Ruina bien usada es la mejor pérdida de lesión del juego, pero sin duda, vamos.
4 wins.
Sin duda.
At the halfway mark, it's going to help them towards getting into playoffs. And yeah, I think we've kind of covered the standings really. But yeah, Ariandel just coming through with a strong performance, and 2 gens remaining. We only have 1 injury on the board, so they aren't really giving Dark any sort of room to put pressure on them.
And this is like, we are almost talking about different killers being played, right? If you compare Trial 1 and Trial 2, just like how the survivors are just like having fun here almost in the second trial, you would not think that we are playing the same killer. It's like day and night. It's nurse and trapper difference, basically. But what Babo just showed us with the Freddy and what Dark is capable of doing, and it's not even that Dark is doing a lot of mistakes here, or that it's true just solely on the responsibility of the killer player. It is also coming down to the Survivor team not handing out free hits, being aware of the teleports, running away early, communicating very good, so more time is wasted when following a Survivor. All of that is looking really, really strong right now. We are chasing in the corner.
No tienes que darle ese lado, tienes que evitar dárselo, bro.
Over here in the gallows area. That means that the other survivors are currently
le están leyendo muy bien,
grinding the generators here. So this might be a devastating first trial for Team Jinx with a lot of stages difference. Ariandel looking absolutely dominant. They are aware that Elysium is playing later today, that Elysium is watching this, hoping for a loss of Ariandel. And if another team is watching you, hoping that you lose, this is the best answer you can give to that.
Buah, chaval. ¿Cómo se lo están follando aquí el Epic?
It's a statement, and he's just winning every 50-50 as well. Just does not help.
¡Qué bonito!
His conquest of this game.
Santa María bendita, cómo lo están amasando.
And just look at that timing on the vault, and he just misses it twice. That's 2 times in a row. It was almost like, it's almost like polar opposite, right? Like you said. Last game, Bobo was winning every 50-50 and Chase was getting pretty much every hit that he possibly
¿Cómo lo están violando?
could at the earliest point. Everything is sort of going in his favor, and now you have the survivor chases where Dark just can't make anything connect at all. I think he's taken a pallet stun on pretty much everything that's been
Esto se
dropped
llama
so far in this
violación.
game. Well, near enough 80% of the pallets that they've dropped, they've slammed in his face. So, you know, just completely demoralizes you, to be honest, on the killer side. And yeah, we've got Swatter now in chase again. Is going to leap over that pallet as we see the animation again. Yeah, Ariandel, like, really just not, like, it's almost like we're not going to give you anything. Like, you want, I mean, you give him a down here now, but it's nice to see. This is, I suppose, what we kind of expect from Freddy. What was that? Wait, what?
Look at them swarming around like
No la van a dejar, me parece.
up Swift.
Yeah.
They're all taking hits now.
Claro, aquí a llevarle al gancho que está al lado del motor, pero bueno.
No,
Not
this is
giving you
good.
anything.
El temple del hombre, muy buena ahí. El señor, creo que es
The
Exais.
sleep as well. That looks so weird in the dream world. But he's got the balanced landing to keep himself safe for the time being. But it doesn't look like Dark actually wants to commit that. Wants to say, Swatter, I've had enough of you. I want to chase this pesky little ace that stopped me from hooking you. This is genuinely playing out like a public game. Like, I'm going to go for the survivor that annoyed me, not the one that I was trying to kill in the first place.
Tunnel vision pure now, and then in the
Mira cómo le hace muy bien a Bodyblock, echándole para la izquierda.
Look at
comment,
Swatter's like,
comment about gen rushing.
get away from my ace, dude. You're not allowed to touch him. And we have these pellets still up, and oh, Christ.
Lo están violando en el 50-50.
Again at this pallet has just been like a thorn in his side as well.
Ese pallet no es bueno, Spice. Ese pallet no es bueno, pero.
We need Dark to get at least one kill.
Madre mía, lo están arrasando al pobrecito.
Come on. No, he gets another pallet to the face. Oh, he's just not get. I kind of feel bad. At this point. This is yeah, and they're all here too, so they're just gonna be losing the trial.
Madre mía, 3 cuelgues se ha hecho el Freddy. Madre mía, es que lo han pasado por encima, Hostias.
Dang. Demolish.
They are stage with that. Actually,
lo han pasado por encima directamente. Vale, pues enfermerita, veremos, empieza JINX ahora, que de momento va Ariandel 0-1 a favor de Ariandel, me refiero. Y vale, tenemos que liberación, muy importante que Swatter no sea el primer perseguido, es extremadamente importante, la liberación tiene que estar para rescatar. Tenemos por aquí el Sprint con el Déjà Vu, muy buena. Resurgimiento, esta perk es muy buena, ¿vale? Para salir del gancho casi curado, prácticamente casi curado. El Chungere con Inquebrantable y el por los demás, muy buen conjunto. Y el segundo aliento, muy buen conjunto de perks para Bubo. Iba con agilidad, golpe decisivo que no sirve para nada contra enfermera, pero bueno. Y bueno, para curarse con el tótem y con elementos de botánica. Muy bien, muy buenas builds, la verdad. Muy buenas builds para aguantar a la enfermera, que en fin, estaba un poco fuerte el killer. Y la enfermera va con la aceleración de addon y perder el rey de terror cuando pegas un hit tras TP. Luz que agoniza, pim pam pum, erupción, intervención corbutana. Una build bestial, muy buena.
Brought it out. Also interesting that the
Si a uno de vosotros que sois nuevos en el juego y no sabéis de lo que hablo, es que yo, por ejemplo, estas perks para mí ya no hablo sobre ellas porque están más que sabidas, pero igualmente si sois nuevos y no sabéis qué hacen las perks o por qué las llevan, me lo preguntáis. Oye, Borja, has dicho una perk se llama Luz que agoniza, no tengo ni puta idea lo que hace, ¿me lo puedo explicar? Y claro, yo te lo explico, ¿vale? Pero bueno, que eso, yo hay muchas cosas que no las explico porque las doy por sabido, ¿vale?
joined the lobby first to set up the nurse, but then pay.
Recordad que hemos sido nuevos y no nos enterábamos de nada, así que si alguno no sabe algo, que me lo pregunte, aunque os parezca una tontería.
Now coming out, so not entirely sure what happened there on the discussion of Team JINX, that they were basically trying to figure out who should
Bueno, Torre Carbón, enfermedad, lo normal es que los arrase, ¿vale? Pero bueno, veremos a ver qué tal lo hace.
take this difficult responsibility here.
Al Freddy anterior ya lo visteis, a un Freddy que jugó de puta madre, le hicieron 2 motores, y a un Freddy que jugó muy mal, se hizo 3 cuelgues. O sea, es la doble balanza.
They swapped the player from DMR back to K. K now coming out on the nurse here. So the first survivor decides that he doesn't want to chase over there, and that it's better to join back on the active generator. Potentially he's able to catch one of the survivors that was already busy right here. Bubble coming out, that's going to be the
Qué pena que no gastó un TP, porque si no ya tendría los dos.
first injury here. So good first blink onto Bubble, and now is the question, how far?
Buah, fatal aquí cae, sí, muy bien, pero aquí cae tú no puedes fallar. Teniéndole a 5 metros al
Can
superviviente.
you get it done? Double back into double back from Bubble, basically a triple back.
Esto parece no, pero cuenta muchísimo, ¿vale?
Coming out from him here after his great Freddy performance. Already shining again on the first chase, forcing K into an overblink now.
Muy mal aquí. Bueno, muy mal no, pero se ha equivocado la Claude.
And was a nice attempt there with the fake that
Me encanta este de First Down Timer, 1-12.
he would drop the pallet.
Perfectamente podría haber sido 55 segundos, perfectamente.
Or trying to stun the nurse basically,
De partida, 55 segundos de partida, no de chase.
and hoping that she would blink into him and then getting away with that. Didn't work out, but a generator in exchange most likely is already a good start on the survivor side when you can trade one hook stage for one gen basically. So Ariandel off to a good start here, and hopefully K can continue the action.
Yeah, 1 minute and 12 seconds. That is, I think, probably around the average that we see for Nurse, maybe a bit above, given the strength of the killer. So K can feel good about getting that relatively straightforward down. A really nice chase from Bubba, though. Dodging out on like
¿Cómo lo
1 or 2
sabía?
blink sets.
Muy mal TP, o sea, sabes que está ahí, pero ¿por qué lanzas un TP? Lanzar el segundo, hombre.
Of course, resulting
De momento Kai no me está gustando como enfermera,
to that first hook stage. But now we found Swatter over by this hill gen on the right-hand side. And taking the second blink actually to get that hit. That's going to be overcome use. And
Se tira. ¿Sabéis por qué se tira? Para decirle que no me cojas, pues me voy a curar entero, que lo sepas. Y así protege a su compañero, básicamente. Pero yo os digo yo que la enfermera va a sudar, va a ir a por él.
plot twisting actually at the hook, forcing the pick. But this is going to be the Deliverance player on the floor. Bubba doesn't. He gets a nice back. He gets a nice double back. I tripped over my words. What's that happened? How long can Bubba last? There should be enough time for Deli to get active.
Se lo está follando con los double back, el bubo.
And look, just the double backs. Kate
Se ha comido ya 3. 3 se ha comido ya.
is not able to catch Bubba twice in a row there. Going for the chase of his life. And Swatter's going to be able to pick himself up with that plot twist.
Hasta ahí.
Will go down eventually.
Porque no tenía chungo, si no, se come el chungo.
Yeah, so Swat's going to make it to safety. Bubba now taking his second stage. So, I mean, you have the Deliverance active now, and you're about to be at basically 2 gens remaining.
And hopefully we can speed it up a little bit, because I feel like K needs to be a little bit quicker still. Bubble is in the second stage, but 3 generators are
Está jugando muy mal Kai,
now already
Mecánicamente me refiero.
completed, and the other 3 survivors are all healthy, so they can swarm around the hook, they can go
Y este es su pick. O sea, la enfermedad es el pick de Jinx.
for saves, they can even
Esperaba más nivel, obviamente.
take trades here, and they do not need to fear the nurse just blinking over and insta-downing them because they are not injured
Hola.
yet. Bubble going forward. We see a little bit of body blocking coming in here by the magic. This can even be a few meters and be enough to make sure that you cannot catch up with the next 2 blinks on this survivor.
¿Cómo? Vale, he flipado.
What?
¿Qué coño ha sido eso?
His blink got swallowed by Oblivion. It wasn't even like the map, it was just like hell.
Madre mía, está fallando muchísimo la enfermera, tío. O sea, en serio. Parece una enfermera, en fin del montón.
This is how strong Ariandel is, Zach.
¿No se estará muy nervioso el chico este o no lo entiendo?
I've never seen that before.
Menudo pocos tú, Santa María.
Oh, the double back not working this time. K has learned, and that's gonna be Bubba going down. Was it just take a second there to pause? Is anyone here for the pilot save? No. So Bob's going to be going down. We were pretty close to that first, to that last gen, or the second to last gen, and we were about
Vale, muy bien. 4 motores y un muerto. Muy bien, muy
halfway
bien.
on the last one.
Y le lleva el motor casi por la mitad.
So this is good progress on the survivor side.
Si falla tanto una enfermera y hace 4K, algo mal está en el juego, ¿eh? Debería matar como muchísimo a 2, como muchísimo.
Answer to that first kill, popping that hill gen, and now we have
Muy buen sprint.
a relatively good split on the map as well. So this is gonna be really hard to defend for K. You've got the shack and main, the two furthest gens apart, and the middle water tower gen actually almost completed. So we are looking at potentially going into endgame with only 3 stages on the board. Because basically what happened last time, we do have the dying light in effect, but only 3 stacks
Los motores nos han dejado bastante bien, la verdad, los supervivientes.
on that. Gonna apply eruption to that one, and
Bubu ha jugado muy bien, estará muerto, pero ha jugado muy bien Bubu.
yeah, K's gonna need a down pretty much now. Like, there's not much time to waste. We are on that stairs, holding the blink instead of going for it. And look at this positioning. Another double back.
Se come todos los double back, ¿eh? Creo que se ha comido todos. Todos, ¿eh? No ha habido uno que no se haya comido.
Coming in from Swatter. Really well timed. I think that was Swatter. It was a little bit blurry on the screen, but
Yo soy mi enfermera. Soy el primero que me como algún double back. Alguno me como, obviamente, pero tío, todos. Todos no, por Dios.
either way, another person eluding escape, which is not what you want. We're holding eruption on that gen.
Aguanta, bien.
And it's also play for time-wise. I mean, La Magic was the one working on that water tower gen. We do have an idea roughly of how
Aquí ha
far
hecho mal TP, pero la niña ha tirado para atrás y se ha comido el hit.
those other 2 are. So there's only a certain amount of time you can really commit to this. And Live's going to be used for safety.
Ya está.
Will go down eventually.
Hasta ahí.
Eruption would have triggered on that, but look at where we are. We're at the deep top side right now. And K is going to have enough time to actually go for this thing. So actually holding on just a little bit, guy.
Yeah, just a little bit. Hopefully a little bit of a gift from the survivors of Ariandel now.
Yo esa puerta no la rompería porque si no el superviviente tiene el acceso muy fácil a la salida.
With that down, and Swatter and Heartful being the 2 unfortunately now there's the pick up the magic back on the feet here. It would have been the chance, right? If you now find one survivor quickly and you have the down there, and then you can try spread the pressure across the other survivors. That would have been a little bit of a chance for K here. 3 gen not available, so we need to be quick.
Casi falla el hit.
Anyway, nice blink there onto Swatter, getting the injury and the kick onto the main generator. But we need to go straight back towards the water tower here.
Claro, tiene que tener a todo el mundo herido y ahí empieza a jugar.
And this is now the difficulty when you do not have a 3 gen, right? You have to go for basically constant travel. You have to go from top side back towards the bottom side. I think Ariandel even did the killer a little bit of a favor here.
Muy bien, ahí la enfermera lo ha leído muy bien, que se va a abrir el superviviente, perfecto.
It would have been much worse if the shack generator would be on 75%. So we can feel happy that it's only the water tower one, but the other 2 survivors
Muy buena.
in the distance working on the gens here. And that needs to be a slug because the killer knows about water tower, knows about the main building. So K is slowly getting the control back in this trial. There's a potential shift here.
Yeah, we've got the 2 injuries. Swatter is the deliverance
Adiós,
player.
Sutter, roquete. Adiós.
So at least for the
Madre mía, qué petardos.
survivor side. And oh my god, a nice blind coming in.
Petardos God, salí de 10.
Denying that sort of last second hit there that would have secured the down.
O sea, que de verdad, creo que se ha comido todos menos uno. O sea, todos menos uno se ha comido.
Swatter is absolutely having the chase of his life. Every chase that he's had so far this game has resulted in either K leaving him or just, I don't know, not going down without a fight. Hasn't taken a hook stage yet. Will go down now eventually, but that gives him time to actually pick up the botany knowledge coming in for the speedy reset. And this is huge now. So they have someone healthy. Swatter is the deliverance player, so they don't have to worry about him if he gets hooked. and it's all about if she can find if our nurse player can find Hardwell right now. But they're stealthing out so well. That was looking scary because we had one slug on the side of the map and 2 injured survivors facing death. But Swatter, coming in with absolute chase of his life on the top side, has brought his team back into it, and now the ball's back in K's court pretty much. Live can be used
muy
on
buena
the shack
agilidad.
window, chasing around.
No.
Double
Ya
back.
está, basta con el double back, ¿no?
Not going to be
Vale, locura.
not going to be working out this time. Yeah, Hardwell picking up, and this is good because if you have that regressing gen, you're buying time for your team.
Muy buena, para que veáis el lado en ese lo roto que está. O sea, ha llegado hasta aquí sin tener nadie ni puta idea.
Or you're buying yourself time as killer, rather. Hardwell's now been found.
Se ha ido para arriba.
The Magic's still on the floor, and it's really just like it's a matter of who messes up first. If you'd agree.
I agree, and I hope. I have hopes. I have hopes and prayers and wishes for Team JINX here that they can keep this under control, that we will see.
Me han llamado al timbre. Le doy a pausa y vuelvo. Vale, continuamos, chicos.
Swat unfortunately not
Otro
handing out the
error.
down right here. That would have been such an important one. But yeah, I have hope that K can shut it down
Madre mía, ha llegado el milagro el hit este.
right here. That would be the comeback chance for JINX down in the corner here. That will be a bit of a travel time for the survivors as well, keeping them away from the gens. We have a lot of pressure over here. Short moment of undetectable. Maybe that's a good chance to get an unexpected down, to put some pressure back up. Ace left early. Nia left early as well, already on the shack, so...
Es que el que tiene que aventarle está muerto, básicamente. Entonces, digamos que ya no puede nadie levantarse.
Now it's important, yeah, that we do not check too long
Menuda joya, tú le están metiendo a la
on the
enfermera.
main building, but what a double back on the pallet here by Hardwell. Oh, this is so... I don't want to be in the position of K at the moment, because you basically have not room for a single mistake at the moment. You cannot go
Uf, Dios mío, está dando muchos pocos, Está dando demasiados pocos, estoy flipando.
for any overblink, and he does get Hardwell onto the floor here, knows where the other 2 survivors are, because we just had the pickup in the distance. The question is just, did they move towards the shack or straight back towards the generator right here? We do not see the scratch marks, so they went for the reset.
Vale, se han curado, por fin.
That means they're
From the-
potentially still in the corner here. K trying to scout, trying to find them, and we would
Finds it.
need them so desperately. Bill still over here in the corner. That's a good blink right there. Injury, and now the shack survivor. If this is a quick double... Yeah, it is a double down, so the other survivor still busy rotating. K now in the position of control. That has the chance, Zach. Either it's the 4K now or it slips out of the hand, I feel like.
Yeah, finding that reset position, not quite interrupting it, but spotting them out is good information for K, because now you have a relative idea where all 3 survivors are. When you play the 3v1, information's so key. I would like to see if Toby, our stats analyst, can actually measure the blood pressure of K. Like you said, this is probably one of the most stressful situations you can be in, especially when you really do kind of need a result like a 4K1 on the nurse to have like a good feeling, or at least set your survivor team up for a bit of success. After that Freddy set,
Buena,
we have
buena.
found Swatter. Swatter is pretty close on the bleed out. Hasn't been picked up.
Suerte, al final va a morir en el suelo.
Kate smelling that deliverance after he went for that first unhook. Of course, he's got no plot twist to
Y
use
creo que a ese motor le queda una patada, porque es patada más la deducción, pues son 2 patadas.
because he used it under the hook at that point. So we won't be able to get another use out of that perk until the end game reaches. But yeah, the Magic still healthy
Ah, ya está.
right now. Swatter does get picked up. And we see some scratch marks actually. Who is this going to be? And it's Hardwell injured on the ace. But again, just look, we're only getting our downs in like the far corners. You know, we're going down in Narnia every single time, and you just have to go so far. You can't make it across the map in that one rotation of blinks. You need at least 2, and that wastes so much time. And they're maximizing the amount of distance between each chase, and it's the only reason that Ariandel is still in this, I feel like.
La he visto.
Yeah, compared to the previous downs that we had, though, Ariandel does recover a little bit. We had situations where we had 2 down survivor at the same time, or we had where the injury counter was basically a lot higher. Now we are back to just 1 survivor injured and Swatter running, so not even close to having the second down followed. And this is a huge recovery for Ariandel. They are in a much better spot now. Not so much the control and dominance of KA anymore. Swatter taking the injury, and once again we go into the corner here. That means our killer has to rotate away, needs to check on the generators, cannot let that happen. So Swatter getting away with that, which also proves that K is in a little bit of a weaker spot than 2 minutes ago, because 2 minutes ago he had the time to follow these survivors. When he wanted the down, he was able to force 2 downs at the same time. Now the survivor is deciding a little bit again what is happening in the trial and what is not possible.
Es que LMAG con conocimientos de botánica le hace counter entero a Carnicero Chapucero, coño.
With running into the corner here, forcing the killer
Entonces,
to
fijáis, se está encargando de curar.
leave. Will be K's job now to make sure that he gains that dominance back.
Bueno, Carnicero Chapucero, el lado de la aceleración, ya me entendéis.
That before Hardwell is picked up, we at least need an injury onto Nia or Bill in order to keep up with the pressure here. Finds one of them rotating towards the top side. That could be a punishing chase. Unfortunately, getting swallowed into the rock there. And now it will most likely be Swatter who's trying to rotate on the right side. Not sure if K found him there, but Hardwell now picked up. So that means that the survivor already successfully made it into K's back here. But now we have to consider the Shack generator again. So we cannot chase these 2 survivors because we know that LeMagic is back down here. It's a constant play now for interrupting these survivors, and the survivors trying to drag the killer away from the objectives. Zach, this is a true standstill at the moment, and it's a true mind game. Who will become more nervous eventually, who will overcommit or become too risky, and then it's going to be tricky here.
Yeah, and I just made a little bit of an observation while you were talking there, because we do have Dying Light slowing these gens down, but if you've noticed, it's been LeMagic going for these resets and these pickups. Now he's the Obsession, so given that the perk gives the sort of healing boosts to the Obsession, he's got botany knowledge too. So as long as LeMagic
Esta enfermedad tiene un poco de carencia.
isn't
Si gana me jodería, Me jodería, la verdad.
found and isn't going down, like the survivors have a chance, you know, to stay on their feet. I mean, the bleed out will happen eventually, but just on the survivor side, they have the fast resets, but the gens are going so slowly. And I do wonder if maybe he wants to get some pop usage, but just probably feels like he doesn't have the time. Chase now coming onto Swatter. LeMagic is about 30% on that gen. And Hardwell's going to be bleeding out in the next 30 seconds. Swatter goes down here, and we may potentially be looking at the end of the game.
Para que vayáis a sobreponerse lo buena que es. Tirar para y aún así le acaba sprint.
Does dodge out on that first blink. This chase needs to last. I don't know how long K wants to commit this, but
Otro double back que se comió.
blinks on that tile, and this is insane pathing from Sword. Actually goes across the window, giving away his position, forcing the grab. Look at that gen, it's so close. Swatter needs to last here. He needs to dodge out on maybe one set of blinks. He needs one more dodge. He doesn't get it. Is it enough? Is this the shack gen that's being worked on? I think they pop this. I think they do.
Now or never. Yeah.
Y ya está.
They pop the gen, and all of that work that K's to like such last minute. Now that's going to be so nice for Fallen Art on that return fixture when he's playing for that 4K.
Va a esperar a la trampilla, básicamente, ¿vale?
A hatch about to happen. This
Mira,
corner
la he
here,
visto.
SWAT is about to bleed out. This actually could work. The bleed out's about to happen. It's on the other side. Does he make it? He has life. Oh, but the nurse has control of the side of Shack. Yeah, I don't know if this. I think this is a 4K0. Yeah. This.
Claro,
I mean, this
esta es la trampilla y
was
ya está.
close. Oh. This one gets swallowed there, but yeah.
Pues ya está.
I would say.
Ahí está, súper inmerecido, muy inmerecido. O sea, ha jugado muy mal mecánicamente el señor Kai, pero ahí se tiene el 4K para que veáis lo fuerte que es la enfermedad en este mapa. Simplemente es lugueando. Os digo, le han hecho 4 motores y en lo que él ha matado a uno. Pero bueno, y se ha comido palet, double back, no sé qué. Lo han pasado por encima, pero bueno, 4K. Así que nada, vamos a ver qué tal la 7 partidita. Vale, va con Inmortal, que para que no lo sepáis, el Inmortal da visión, ¿vale? Se lo ponen para tener visión en puntos genéricos de este mapa, en buenos puntos. Y parece no, pero eso te da mucha situación de partida, mucha macro, también te puede ayudar en la micro, en determinadas persecuciones. Y por sí sola, Inmortal está bien como perk de lectura de auras de supervivientes, porque la enfermera está, digamos, muy acotada, ¿vale? No le permiten muchísima cantidad de perks. Y una erupción, pim pam pum y intervención con bruta.
Welcome back, everyone, and we now have Fallen Art for Team Ariandel.
Vale, Matt tiene liberación. Importante que él no sea el primer en ser colgado.
On the nurse, and immediately I see Undying being used on its own, which is maybe looking for some aura value this game, potentially. Aside from that, we've got Corrupt Intervention, very, very classic perk, and Eruption and Pop, of
¿Veis? Inmortal aquí da aura, pero da mucha ventaja.
course, for that generator slowdown, but already seeing
Para que veáis la ventaja que da. Ver aura durante 3 segundos.
some Undying value, it looks like, as we move on to the Shack, getting...
Ya solo por esto, si la chase dura poco, la perk ya es útil. Ya está, simplemente por esto, simplemente por una situación, la perk ya ha sido útil.
First chase
Otra vez, más auras.
pretty much immediately, and this is not in the right place. So dire.
¿Veis? Ver un poco, por ejemplo, Fallen Art es una jodida bestia con la enfermera, ¿vale? Es muy, muy buena. Para mí es de las mejores enfermeras del mundo.
This is
Vamos, le pongo top 2, top 3 tranquilamente.
a firstly extremely fast down, and
36 segundos.
secondly,
La
in
mitad
the
de tiempo.
absolute wrong place on the
La
map.
mitad. Literalmente la mitad.
It's a tricky start for JINX, 100%. You really want to
¿Y por qué ha durado 36 segundos? Por Inmortal.
get this
Eso es así de sencillo.
started differently, right? Especially after K. And it is unfortunately even K who's not able to follow the great nurse performance where he kept Ariandel with a 4.
¿Cómo sabía que estaba ahí?
Okay, and hello, Mats. Getting a little bit surprised there. Gets away without attack here. Luckily, so we do not need to worry about the
Otra vez con el totem.
deliverance. It will be the trade at least possible. They might even get away with it because Fallen Art can only now go for the injury right here.
Un buen túnel
Will
fresco.
not even worry about Mats at all. K is the target, and before
Madre mía, no la permití saltar, tío. No sé qué bestia.
K can even leave the window to get the light off, we already have it, but getting the
Qué divertido es ver a la enfermera saltar la ventana.
vault out.
Parece una atleta olímpica.
3 seconds lost right there. If this is now combined with the decisive strike, the other survivors can hop back onto the generators.
¿Veis? ¿Veis? ¿Para qué coño sirve golpe decisivo? Para nada. Para aguantar 4 segundos
Will
más.
it be more than a double back? The answer is no. The attempt is the only thing that we are going to have right here. So K back onto the hook, but the survivors use that time. We will most likely see 2 generators coming out of the way here. That's good for them. A good and important start. But we definitely need a little bit more, and I feel like we need to make sure that K is not immediately dying with the next unhook, right? Because a 3v1 would, considering the win condition of getting an out here, a little bit too early.
Estaba ahí.
Especially when you've got Fallen Art, who has his surveillance totems in between the hook and the top side. I sort of like in the background was mentioning that the the two chases we had at the start both revealed survivors like aura,
No creo que puedan rescatarlo, está muy mal el gancho para rescatarlo.
which resulted in a hit slash down. So, already coming in clutch as a perk, and I feel like it's just something that I've seen so much recently on Cold Tower nurse sets where we've got Undying. It's just the aura reading on even 3v1 situations.
No llega, No llega. Les digo que no llega.
Where that comes through, and I don't think you actually get that unhook. It's going to be very close. It's going to go
Llegado de puto milagro ahorita.
down, but it's very, very unsafe. And now Kay already used the decisive strike. And again, aura reading on the Undying. It's going to see which way that he runs around Shag.
Nah.
And you will go down, and I mean, contrary to what you said, that's going to be a death hook. So this, I mean, if the basement isn't Shack right here, then that could be even worse. We are now getting to 2 gens, almost 1 gen remaining. So
Están reparando muy bien JINX.
actually,
Lo que ha matado a uno, van a hacerse también 4 motores.
efficiency on the gens, I want to say is quite impressive. It's definitely doable in a 3v1 when you have 1 gen remaining. We said that it was an early down, but actually never mind.
Como le han avisado, qué locura.
Like Jinx have completely
Buah, le quedaban 3 segundos al motor.
cranked those gens out. Oh, they didn't actually get to pop it, and now that's been popped. But we were close.
Madre mía, qué cerca tú.
And I feel like that was needed. I feel like that's going to be a very punishing.
¿Veis la enfermera? ¿Veis que esta es muy hija de puta? La otra iba un poco doblada.
Turn of events now that this generator didn't come through and
¿Veis? Al primer TP tira la gente. Al primer TP no al segundo.
takes the pop kick there. That's quite some time that you have to spend there.
¿Veis? Aquí con Inmortal, está viendo. Es que yo os digo, Inmortal es que verdad, es muy buena perk.
And Moon getting downed right here. Fallen Art not making mistakes here on
Mira, al lado del totem se está curando.
these blinks, celebrating a bit. We see the undying value right there. The reset coming out in the distance, but Fallen, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. The surveillance cameras of Fallen Art are just too strong.
CCTV.
Knowing exactly where just getting the free information there, and that's not more but going into the corner here. And yeah, 2
Qué follada.
generators still with the need of being repaired. Survivors need an out in order to take the win here. And I think when we look in a few minutes on the entire trial, we will realize how punishing this pop pick that interrupted the main generator really was, because the team really needed to get that done.
Yeah, just so close, not able to pop it in time. And of course, I mean, if you want to grade that, you almost sacrifice the whole game to commit that. So I think making the best of that bad scenario, but ultimately it has punished them so hard. And the Undying,
Math creo que se ha tirado al suelo.
I think maybe has been the MVP of this set, to be honest. Seeing Aura survivors like 4 or 5 times, especially when they're resetting off the resistance. You had Mads thinking he was all safe in the corner, hidden away. And then you've got a nurse blinking on you all of a sudden. You're like, excuse me, what's going on? Just like bad luck. And he's...
Por cierto, tenía chungo Moon, ¿no? Ahora que lo pienso. Sí, tenía chungo, no lo ha usado.
His slug is still on the totem actually, so even if Dark went for the
Tenía chungo, no lo ha usado, no sé por qué.
pickup there, he would have been spotted. And wait, did he get spotted out at Shack? Oh, I do wonder if that rotation... Okay, it doesn't look like he was. Did manage to
Dark
start
no la he
that
visto el
there.
milagro.
Unhook does come through. And... mentioned this is like, it's
Buen balance.
actually the plot twist that Mad used. But plot twisting on the Undying Totem, so that actually could have been a disaster on its own. Christ, there's so many things that could be going wrong right now for Jinx. Oh, nice
Muy buen
dodge
pallet.
out, nice pallet stun from Moon on the top side of the map now.
Muy buen chungo.
And the Dead Hard as well, Moon
Yo!
coming in clutch for his team. And the rest of the survivors now working the gen.
Es que hacer los TPs muy rápidos, no te da tiempo a hacer
Gonna
nada.
go down though, unfortunately. Instead, the resets come through the plot twist. Moon makes it to the top side of the map, wastes a lot of time. So the survivor team somewhat on their feet now, splitting 2 gens. Oh, that's a 2v1, which I failed to realize now. So whilst they were looking
Pues ya está, a estas alturas es victoria, ¿vale? 2 estudiantes con 2 motores no es prácticamente imposible que lo saquen.
strong,
Vamos.
that death actually now maybe doesn't let them even get outs potentially.
And it all throws me back towards that main generator. Imagine they would have get this done earlier before the Pop King kick came through, and now we would only need to worry about one generator down here. This one has a lot the entire time. We might even, we mentioned it earlier when we talked about
Vale, Dark reparando.
Team Ariandel in the campfire chat. Fallen Art, one of the most famous names when it comes to the nurse. It was a surprising decision even that JINX picked the nurse as one of their first nurse attempts in DBDL against this team here. And we from the kind of last icon. It will be
Nada, paliza gitana. O sea, juego Fallen Art, ha jugado perfecto. O sea, perfecto, literalmente inmortal. Le ha servido de muchísima ayuda, muchísima ayuda. Y nada, sea una buena enfermera, le das una pérdida de horas, pues hacen partidas a los supervivientes, literalmente. Vale, pues 2-0 a favor de Ariandel. Vamos con Espíritu, que es pick de Ariandel. Muy curioso que el pick de JINX, sabiendo que Ariandel tiene una pedazo de enfermera, yo no habría elegido enfermera, sinceramente. O sea, Fallen Art, ya os digo, es de las mejores del mundo. Le estáis dando un comfort pick de la hostia. Hubiese elegido algo para poder ganarles. Una enfermera creo que no era el pick para nada. Y Ariandel ahora coge Espíritu, que va a jugar Búho. Desguace, lo normal es que el Espíritu se haga 4K, ¿vale? Es lo normal, es exageradamente fuerte este kilo, sigue siendo a mi parecer un tier S. Y nada, con una gorrita para tener más velocidad cuando hace el viaje este de la invisibilidad, y el palito este azul para recuperar el poder lo antes posible. Los mejores saltos que tiene el espíritu. Va con agarre del dragón, muy buena perpa el espíritu, muy buena porque un espíritu que guasotee, pues imaginaros, ¿vale? Erupción, pim pam pum, intención corrupta, brutal.
Times he was dangerous and he was famous.
Y aquí vemos quién tiene, aquí más tiene el inquebrantable, muy interesante, y en liberación, no hay liberación, no estará permitido, ¿vale? Si no lleva liberación es porque está banez. Pero bueno, chungo, sobreponerse, porque el chungo es bastante difícil de las horas espirituales, que lo sepáis, es bastante difícil. El de curarte tirándote al suelo, agilidad y el espíritu.
For his mind games, for his reads, but that's
interesante que no haya voluntad de hierro por parte del equipo, la verdad.
It's been quite a while ago, so let's see if
La mala voluntad de hierro es que no te puedes poner perder agotamiento, obviamente, es lo malo.
he got a little bit rusty, or if he secretly maintained the skills on spirit to just wait for the right moment. So far it looks
Mala suerte, no había pared, pues no te puedes proteger.
pretty good, because that's the first injury onto K. K, for some reason, started off as the hero a little bit.
No, hombre, no, Bubo, hijo, no vayas a te quedar pared.
JINX back with
Todavía le quedaba un poquito de poder.
the nurse trial, then 2 times the first target. Wonderful stun here by K. Moving over, holding W to make sure that Babo has to follow up and loses some time. This is a tricky pallet to mind game around, because he has to face quite some distance. K going for a late rewalt, but
Me gusta más los vídeos de YouTube, lo tienen muy bien editado, la verdad, 51 segunditos.
unfortunately
Tema de las perks, a ti.
getting grabbed right there. So Babo getting the first down right here. Mats and Moon working on a generator together in the distance. And we already have Laurie lurking around for the save. It seems like the strategy is clear. You want to get the survivor as quick as possible back into the trial. Generator getting interrupted once again. We have just seen that in the nurse trial. And this will once again be punishing, because when you double up in the first chase, you usually want to get that generator out of the way.
Guansoteo, a tomar por culo el más. Ahora, por esto.
Otherwise, it would be a good idea to
Es una perk muy fuerte, la agarre del dragón con el espíritu, muy fuerte.
just go for the next. And Matt's going down right here. Was that the Dragon Script value?
It was, yeah.
Finally! Fans of
Finally got
Dragon
it.
Script! Your day has come! I didn't
La agarre del dragón es muy buena con payaso y espíritu, es muy buena.
realize.
Y con singularidad también.
Yeah, because Bobo was going to go back to the hook, but then they sort of touched the gen before he'd even left. So he was like, oh, do you know what, actually? Come on, then. And he gets him down. That's Matt's going to be taking the Dragon Script down. But now, I mean, you've lost K, I suppose, so maybe Mads is the new target. Pop going to be applied on that gen, and we see Dark there lurking around with Sprint Burst. Unhook's going to come
Le ha metido a agarrar el dragón, ¿verdad? Creo que sí.
through. And ultimately, Bubbo doesn't really lose out on any
Ahí está. Dark ha gritado.
time here. I suppose it would have taken way longer to find K there, and good decision making coming out.
Es que no llegas. Es que no llegas. Es que es muy rápido con la puta gorra esa de mierda.
And he finds Mads straight away. That's gonna be
Para luego me sigan diciendo que este killer no es TRS.
second stage onto Mads so
Por favor,
quickly.
hombre. Un poquito de... Y ahora, el otro venía a tirar palet y ya no puede. Y hit que se lleva. Cagada grande. Cagada muy grande por parte del equipo de JINX.
And the pallet save does
Calle está jugando muy mal, muy mal. Tanto de healer, la partida de enfermedad como de superviviente.
not come through, giving them Nopas onto K, and I feel like the trial's kind of falling apart so early on. We've got Pop that slowed down that gem progression, the Dragon script value, and now a really fast second stage, even not even being the
Y
first.
pensar en los retos que se para Espíritu antes, que se bloqueaba contra el superviviente, o sea, ya me tenía para retrasados mentales la Espíritu, y también que el superviviente no tenía ni puta idea por dónde venía, lo mismo venías por izquierda, por derecha, por delante, por detrás, te la metía por el culo y encima sin pasarino, o sea, perfecto.
Takes of the game.
Brutal. La Espíritu como estaba
really
antes.
shaping up to be a difficult trial as we start out. That Pop value is crazy though.
Pues lo que te vamos
Yeah,
a
and I
hacer.
feel like we can feel a little bit that the first two sets are a little bit on the shoulders and in the mind of the JINX players here, right? You are under a lot of pressure. You cannot make a single mistake. You have to basically bring out your
Claro, prefiere matar a alguien. Yo obviamente también. Antes mejor matar a uno con 5 motores.
perfect game now. And the best
Y realmente por los demás, obviamente.
case is getting a tie now, which would still be beneficial for Team JINX because not a lot of teams will
Okay,
grab
that's okay,
1
vale.
point of Ariandel. A lot of other teams will
Okay.
take the lose. But you can feel it's not going so confident. The efficiency is a little bit dropped. We're still on 5 gens, even though we have seen some of the hook stages already coming through. And then even unfortunate things happen, right? Like the Dragon script, for example. And very often in the campfire chats in Season 10 so far, we talk about the question, is Dragon script even a reasonable pick? Because very, very often it doesn't come into effect and it's too situational. And this time,
Ahí le va a descubrir. En esa roca es un escondite muy obvio.
especially when JINX is in a difficult spot already, they are facing the unfortunate truth that it works out. Moon around for the pallet save here. Bubbo checking, they might be able to get that done, but Bubbo
Como lo sabía, qué locura que bien está jugando Buba.
even sniffs that out. Oh, it's rough. I feel bad for JINX.
Va a tirar a los dos.
They are really struggling here. They are trying a lot.
Es que estás jugando contra un espíritu. ¿Qué haces, Roquete? ¿Qué haces? Estás servicio contra un espíritu que va a tener el poder ya y vas a ir al suelo, tío. Tienes que alejarte, por Dios bendito. O sea, no puedes ayudar a tu compañero y ya está.
But I feel like Bubbo is just too dangerous.
Ah, bueno, inquebrantable, vale. Bueno, le ha dado cierto tiempo. Vale, ahí bien, ahí bien. Vamos, ya sabéis lo que va a durar el otro levantado, ¿no? Bueno, 10 segundos más.
Yeah, his game sense is definitely one of the things that contributes to those really strong performances. Smells
Me he pasado, creo que es el 5.
the saver, or the pallet saver as well, and then able to just follow up pretty quickly and get the down. Not enough distance made by Moon there, but in between sort of that chase and Mads picking himself up, and now Mads is eliminated.
No me esperaba tal paliza de Ariandel a JINX, que joder, que estamos hablando de un tercer puesto a un quinto, ¿sabéis lo que os digo?
From the
No es un tercero contra un décimo.
trial. They do answer with 2 gens. Moon not being picked up. Oh, it looks like he wants to go and check on these gens and has this hook sort of in the bot side where you don't have too much safety.
Tiene
You
4 motores aquí. La partida está perdidísima para JINX. 4 motores en este lado.
have this kind of 4 gen really on this bot side where you can sort of monitor those. So even with that positioning on the survivor, it's going to make it even harder for JINX to come back from this. Early tunnel out coming through. They're going to need a couple of really strong mid-game chases. Moon now being picked up off the floor. And
Qué buen sprint. Se lo ha guardado muy bien aquí, Dark.
Nice
bien.
burst coming through Dark to save that. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, Bobo has time
muy
here. You
bien.
can commit to this chase. He does have the time. That was a very weird laggy looking hit on my screen. Don't know if you saw that too, but Dark now taking the injury. Going to be chased down now. Onto this volatile.
No, ahí está el reflejos.
Come through and
Ahorita, mi amor, como me pagas el ordenador, me voy a tiltear mucho.
it's not going to quite connect. And now we make it back to Shaq. A little bit of safety there, secured for Dark, but not opting to commit that. Actually, just see Moon here. Blind not going to come through. It was an attempt.
¿Cómo le sigue? Es increíble cómo está jugando de bien en Bubo.
He made.
Brutal.
And this concentration of gens is going to hurt them a little bit later into the game. Just see if these these chases in the mid game could maybe sort of help them clear those. But in the 3v1, it's so
Y ha
hard.
utilizado caída equilibrada, pero aún así da lo mismo.
Moon's going to go down, makes some good distance into the top side of the map. But oh, I just feel like the pressure is a bit too much right now for the survivors to handle.
Yeah, Babbo is just one step ahead. I feel like JINX has good ideas. We have seen, for example, the pallet save attempt where Survivor was around. When that didn't work out, they had the Unbreakable in the back
Es que tiene 4 motos aquí, es que es una locura de RNG.
pocket, so they tried to waste the time. They are trying to stick to the generators. They know which generators to repair. So on the theory aspect, a lot of things definitely make a lot of sense that JINX is trying to achieve here. The problem is just on the survivor side, especially the most valuable resource is time. You need time to get a reset, you need time to go for a generator, you need time a little bit to get an unhook before the next survivor is downed.
Se han visto pájaros. ¿Los habéis visto, no? Dale para atrás. Se han visto pájaros ahí en ese motor.
And Babbo is just able to cut this time that is needed basically in half, if not even further than that. Now we have the difficult situation again. We have a survivor already eliminated, which cuts the resources on the survivor side and basically
Estaba buscando al herido.
makes the need for time a lot higher. You now need longer mid-game chases
Se ha tirado al suelo y le ha metido erupción a los compañeros.
even to recover from it. You need even longer or
Le encontró. Muy buena aquí, Bubo.
and unfortunately this doesn't even work out
Cagada de Moon. Cagada de Moon.
as well. Moon just being found here
Muy bien, Bubo.
on the edge of the map. And yeah, now Zach, you used the wording earlier that things are falling apart a little bit, and I feel like it's the perfect description because a lot of things that JINX is also planning in order to make a comeback, in order to get a little bit out of this situation, all of these little things, even they don't work out now. If he finds Lori here,
¿En serio no mira ahí dentro?
Gonna say.
okay,
Really,
at
like-
least this worked out, but it's not really their game today.
As a British saying, getting caught with your pants down, and that was definitely one of those moments where you're stuck in a corner with nowhere to go.
¿Veis? Mucha gente iría al motor a buscar el suplente que le acaba de reparar. No, error. Ese motor ya está hecho. No hay que ir.
But not gonna get far on there. Moon now approaching elimination. We do have an answer with 3 gens completed, but we are sort of facing a bit of a potential 2v1 scenario. Can see K there working on a generator. Dark is still lurking by the bus where that gem was being worked on, and I don't know, based on the distance and the positioning of Bobo, I don't know if they'll get this save, to be honest. Looks like they might be opting for the 2v1, but actually missing the skill check, and I don't know if that could kind of contribute to his death.
No llega el tiempo lo que te ha empezado a correr muy tarde, no lo
I
sé.
don't know if he had enough distance, but I mean that would have been quite close actually. Bobo was there to prevent it, but it looks like they did want to save Moon last minute, but at least I heard him miss a skill check. I don't know. But now we're in a 2v1, and that's going to make it even harder. Light's going to come through on that TNL wall.
No.
Got this
Saltar lento, saltar rápido, estás haciendo hola, estoy aquí, dame una hostia.
full of pallet, but Bobo reads the vault very nicely. Going to get that hit secured. We have the safety of this car pallet.
Estaba muerto Martín y cae, loquete.
around, but just
Es
look
que-
at lethal. Like, look at how lethal he is.
Es que ahí no se puede hacer nada, ¿eh? Una vez estás herido, ya estás
On
jodido.
the spread, just precision
Ya está la
on
otra.
where he's just winning all these 50s, and it's just something that I think what makes Bubbo such a strong killer, especially when you have these
Buah.
higher
Buen
tier
sprint.
killers, because he combines the game
Bueno,
sense
ya
with those
está.
strong chase powers, and these chases aren't going on for very long. Dark able to bait out the sprint burst swing, so good use of the puck from him, but yeah, just everything kind of going right for Bubbo and everything sort of going wrong for JINX.
Yeah, something is not working out yet, and it's going to be one to make him
Pues ya está.
just they don't take back the upcoming a loss.
Pues nada, palizón. O sea, ha jugado que te cagas el Hugo con espíritu. Ha jugado, vamos, perfecto. Básicamente, buenísima esa notificación del móvil. Vale, pues nada, le han hecho 3 motorcitos, 4K. Vamos para la siguiente partida.
Welcome back, everyone.
Moon va con espíritu.
We have Moon now on the record yard
Han cambiado de killer.
for Team JINX, playing Spirit and
A ver, ¿qué llevan por aquí? No llevan no, llevan agilidad, sobreponerse con él por los demás, el sprint, Búho va con el fajador y el que de equilibrada, y con el del 3% extra, que va muy bien junto a fajador.
faced with a win condition of
Aunque os digo, 3% contra espíritu no te sirve ni para tomar por culo, básicamente.
4K
Eso
with
sí.
3 generators
Me
remaining.
da mucho por mirar a Luz, que está a la derecha, no a la cámara, pero bueno. Ya
So
mira,
far this
acostumbrando.
match, they've really had very difficult win conditions set by a team of Ariandel, and it has been an uphill
Un consejo muy importante con espíritu, ¿vale? No tiréis hit si no tenéis al 100% claro que hay un suplente a la vuestra, ¿vale? Porque perdéis muchísimo tiempo, muchísimo. Mejor salís de la invisibilidad, aguantáis un segundo o dos y pum, y pegáis el hit block.
battle from the start for JINX. So coming into this trial, they're going to need a very, very strong performance from Moon, all the weight on his shoulders for his team, and like we discussed, this has to be a win for them to continue through this match. But however likely that is, we're not sure. Sprint burst now coming in looking Swatter. We did find a survivor
No
earlier,
llegas,
but the chase
no
didn't really
llegas.
come through, and the swing misses through the pallet.
Wow.
Not a good start, but a nice mind game actually coming through on that tile. Swatter decided just to send it, but good double back from Moon to get that first injury. Now we come over to this pallet here.
No.
Right,
Mal Swatter aquí, se ha puesto nervioso.
of safety, but does not drop it on the right side, and Moon's going to get a relatively
Bueno, 15 segundos extra.
early down coming into this. We did make it up to the corrupt side, so good positioning from Swatter in the end there to go from so that's unsafe bottom side to that place where essentially none of your teammates are, which is why quite often you see chases taken into that zone. And taking the hatch, he's gonna wiggle.
No,
Oh, he
not
saves
again.
Eso ya, adiós la partida. Por esta cagada.
No, that's the second game in a row where we've seen him sending it.
Brutal esta jugada en Swaterola, tío.
Oh, and he crouches and jukes him out. Oh, this is hard to watch. This is a little hard to watch.
This is so painful because JINX doesn't deserve it, and they are fighting and trying and working.
Yes.
But Ariandel also deserves all the credit and compliments for what they bring on the stage here. It is one thing if you take hits against Freddy in the end game, where you know that the trial is done and that you definitely took the set point, but it's another thing to have so much confidence that you do that in the early game against the Spirit, where things can really backfire. But look at that, even the injury for taking the hit is already healed. and the generator has been completed, so basically no loss on the side of
Por cierto, va con agitación, interesante, para llegar al sótano. Básicamente, va la agitación, sobre todo para llegar al sótano, y a partir de ahí el campeo está muy fresco.
Ariandel. Only time getting gained there for the Survivor team. What a phenomenal play
No
by
llegas.
the entire team.
Pero tío, de verdad, o sea, tiene unos hits que, joder, que yo tengo 3000 horas y sé que no llego, coño.
Ada being found next, doesn't even drop the pallet here. LeMagic doing a good job saving the health state and the resource. Moon going back towards the unhook, and the tunnel target is clear. Water needs to be removed from the trial as quick as possible. Should reach the shack pallet here. That's going to be a punishing stun, costing a few seconds. Moon needs to break it, wants to go back also. So even the tunnel out strategy is now not working out.
No, ha gritado un hombre, ha gritado Hardware.
Yeah, and every second counts, right? Because for Ariandel, all you need to do is do 4 generators for the win. They're playing for that win condition and just preventing any form of pressure on the killer side. Of course, when that survivor is hooked, it kind of gives the killer a bit of tempo, and then the survivors are in a position where they need to answer it. That did come through eventually, but not at the not before Ariandel had something to say about it with that really nice hit tank at the hook there, giving Swatter a little bit of time before that first hook comes through, and then making the shack pallet, denying that that second stage. And now we have 2 gens completed and only 1 hook stage to really speak of. This is absolute disaster for the killer of JINX, and this is not what you need if you want to secure a 4K3. It's been essentially now it's looking like an impossible task. So do you feel for JINX they've had a hard run?
Es que la parte, mira, hay un superviviente. Cuando tú eliges un killer es porque lo dominas bastante y al menos, coño, al menos la partida va a estar igualada, ¿sabes? Bueno, las partidas, las rondas y tal. Pero es que de momento veo a alguien que es una bestia con el killer y de decisiones y el otro que está muy por detrás. Muy por detrás.
So far, but
es así.
Again, that's only speculation, which we do not want to do. We want to wait to see how this trial pulls out. Maybe Ariandel will make a big fumble.
Aunque lado de milagro,
literalmente. So who knows? Could go either way. Bobo now using the firecracker doesn't get the blind. But
los petardos sobre todo molestan mucho a la espíritu porque primero no sabes dónde te los estaban tirando y aparte el sonido te molesta muchísimo, el sonido de porque dejas de escuchar al superviviente.
Oh, actually paths very, very nicely away from that edge map filler tile. 3rd gen now pops, so now, I mean, that essentially secures the tie for Ariandel, but for JINX, that means that no matches will be played after this one, basically, like Dyer outlined before the break. And we're going to continue chasing this pallet gem. Good.
Ahí mal jugado de Hugo, se le ha ido un poquito la visión ahí.
The game there actually resulting in the down and not dying under a pallet, so a little bit of safety for now. And wants to slug this actually. Good positioning, and it's going to be a fast pickup off the floor. Moon looking to defend these gens.
No.
And swings a little bit too
late
on that window vault. So Hardwell's going to live to see another day. Pickup comes through, and the reset too. These resets, these heals, they're coming through so fast, Dyer. And all of the pressure essentially is just being erased. As Moon sort of makes any sort of progress, Ariandel Survivor is just like, never mind. I think we're just going to reset this in the space of about 15 to 20 seconds, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, LeMagic now going for a run again. You have to decide, do you really want to follow this Survivor? Because that's going to cost some time, difficult mind.
Yo es que LeMagic juega muy bien. Si habéis fijado ya, ha tenido calma, ha visto, me viene por la izquierda, me viene recto y no ha tirado el palet.
Game here, Moon.
Esto no sabéis lo difícil que es. O sea, no sé ni idea lo difícil que es aguantar el palet.
Cannot even phase all the way on to the survivor, has to come out of the phase.
Pero LeMagic lo que le gafao, tío. Empieza a hablar perlas de él y me hace este fail.
Lee and LeMagic wanted to go for a 9. Don't do that for 9.
No.
Con el sprint, muy buena ahí.
9. Don't do that to JINX. Don't do that to JINX. Please stop it. By the love of God, stop it. The magic.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you know it's bad when the
Look at
German
that.
comes out of that. Yeah. The nine.
Ya han ganado, vale, obviamente Ariandel.
This is when you
Oh.
know that something is really unacceptable in DBDL. when I cannot control that I'm speaking German, then you know I'm losing my mind.
Vamos, por cómo va la partida, matará a uno y ya está, eh.
Oh, but with that gen pop,
Or
that's going to be
ninguno.
the win secured for Ariandel. So now we're just going to be watching the game of DBD unfold. See if Ariandel can just keep up the momentum that they have in this set. But yeah, picking up. I mean, Moon opting to slug, they pick up, they get the reset. And then the one down that he does secure that he wants to pick up is flashlight saved, and then he gets a pallet in the face.
Esto nunca lo hagáis, meteros en el palet. Nunca. Siempre intentar ir o por uno o por otro, pero no por el palet.
It is just unspeakable. The horrors that
Porque pensar que vosotros no escucháis al superviviente y él sí os escucha a vosotros. Sé que es fácil que os dé un
we're
palet.
witnessing for the killer of Jinx right now. On the wrong side of the tower there, unfortunately, not being able
Le veo muy mal al espíritu de mecánicas.
to see it.
La verdad.
Bobo is, or read where he is, at least playing this car. He does make it back around to that pallet. Oh, not if that happens.
Se ha comido ahí el fake.
It's gonna take this. It's gonna take the smack. Oh, and the the little emote coming through.
Confidence,
Okay. Like knowing my team is full well on these gens. Chase me if you want. This is just absolute confidence
Man.
coming through from Bobo on this chase. Oh. Fake. Oh, okay. Well, you egoed him, and look at what happened.
Yeah.
Pues ya está.
Sense, right? Saying chase off, most likely come after me. So they might even fall for
Ah, vale, el naranja porque se ha pirado. Vale, vale.
emote saying come after me. Yeah, to get a little bit of extra time for your survivor team, but also collecting a few negative karma points. However,
Tiene sobreponerse. Llega. Porque tiene sobreponerse, si no, no llegaba.
the magic moving towards the exit gate, Bubble being reset in the distance, and we might actually see Ariandel taking the 4
¿Veis? O sea,
out here, so that's just going to be Hartwell and Lemay on the
Hola.
other exit. 2 Davey on the next game.
pues todo fuera. Se ha hecho 3 cuelgas. O sea, menudas palizas de la enfermera ha sido. No, la enfermera. La de Freddy ha sido palizón. La de Espíritu ha sido palizón gitano. La enfermera ha sido la más ajustada. Pero vamos, o sea. Bueno, no, la enfermera también ha sido. No, la enfermera también ha sido paliza. Ahora que lo pienso, también han sido 3 palizas contundentes. Nada, brutal Ariandel, han jugado una maravilla, sobre todo de killer. De killer es que no han tenido ni un error prácticamente. O sea, brutal la partida de Freddy, enfermera y espíritu. Así que nada, decidme si os ha gustado la parte de Uki, chavales. Y nos vemos en el próximo vídeo, que será el de suscriptores, un equipillo que se han montado contra otro suscriptor. Así que nada, nos vemos por ese vídeo, chavales. ¡Mua! Chao.